Hi, I'm Vince. Welcome back to Metanoia, the rock concert series which follows the journey of conversion of Simon, also known as Peter, the rock upon whom Jesus built his church. This is episode 5. In the previous episode, Jesus gave Simon a new name, Peter, meaning rock. Jesus also finally revealed to his apostles the mission for which he was sent by his Father. As they left Caesarea Philippi, the words of Jesus weighed heavily on their minds. They were now on their way to Jerusalem, and Jesus had made it perfectly clear what awaited him there: suffering and death and resurrection. Jesus specifically mentioned his resurrection, but none of them could get past the suffering and death part, especially Simon Peter. He kept thinking, why does it have to be this way? Can we just skip to the good part? What he didn't and still couldn't understand was that there could be no resurrection without the cross.
6 days later, Jesus took with him Simon Peter and James and his brother John and led them up a high mountain by themselves. There in their presence he was transfigured. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as dazzling as light. And suddenly Moses and Elijah appeared to them. They were talking with him. Then Simon Peter spoke to Jesus. "Lord," he said, "it is wonderful for us to be here. If you want me to, I will make 3 shelters here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He was still speaking when suddenly a bright cloud covered them with shadow. And suddenly from the cloud there came a voice which said, "This is my Son, the Beloved. He enjoys my favor. Listen to him." And when they heard this, the disciples fell on their faces, overcome with fear. But Jesus came up and touched them, saying, "Stand up, do not be afraid." And when they raised their eyes, they saw no one but Jesus.
Simon Peter could sense it. This was a foretaste of heaven. Bursting with joy, he exclaimed, "It is wonderful for us to be here on this mountaintop, basking in the light of the glory of Jesus, savoring the peace that surpasses all understanding, far from the troubles below, far away from Jerusalem." In his desire to make the experience last, Simon Peter offered to make shelters, one each for Jesus, Moses, and Elijah. He was about to say more when the divine voice interrupted him. "This is my Son. He enjoys my favor. Listen to him." In reality, it was Simon Peter who interrupted the divine manifestation, not the other way around. And soon after, it was over. The voice was gone, the light was gone, Moses and Elijah were gone. Only Jesus stood before them. Simon Peter wanted the experience to last, but it didn't last. He couldn't make it last, because it was never meant to last. Reluctantly, he followed Jesus as he led them down the mountain and back to reality. As they resumed their journey, each step taking them closer to Jerusalem, Jesus reminded his apostles of what awaited him there. There was no going back for him. There was only one path he must take, and that path led to the cross. The apostles, on the other hand, were still free to choose which path to take. The journey gave them a lot of time to really think about this. When they finally reached Jerusalem, at least 2 of them had already made up their minds. Judas resolved to look for an escape route. As for Simon Peter, he resolved to follow Jesus. But he also braced himself for battle, determined to prevent what had already been foretold. He failed to understand the whole point of the mountaintop experience. "Listen to him," the voice said on that mountaintop. But from Caesarea Philippi all the way to Jerusalem, Simon Peter remained deaf to what Jesus was trying to tell him, that the road to glory passed through the tunnel of suffering. There was no way around it. The mountaintop experience was meant to give him a glimpse of the light, the glory at the end of that tunnel. It was meant to strengthen him in his faith, to give him something to look back on and something to look forward to when the things Jesus revealed to them would finally come to pass. But Simon Peter missed the point.
It's good to be up here in your presence, on higher ground. Feels closer to heaven. It's quiet up here, away from the noise. I could clearly hear the sound of your voice, saying you love me, that I'm yours, and you remind me what I'm living for. So while we're up here, let me bask in your light till it's time to go down into the night.
It's sunny up here, above the clouds. I see far and wide, without the shroud. It's wonderful up here, beholding your glory, as you radiate and abide, and through and in me, showing you love me, that I'm yours, and you remind me what I'm living for. So while we're up here, let me bask in your light till it's time to go down into the night.
I'm in the valley, I remember this moment, the glimpses of glory, of lightness of heaven. I know you love me, that I am yours. Will you remind me what I'm fighting for? So while we're up here, bask in your light till it's time to go back into the good fight.
We're going deeper and deeper into Simon Peter's journey, so continue walking with us. For those who missed our previous episodes, check out our Living Hope Facebook and YouTube pages. As always, feel free to share this video with your family and friends so they can journey along with us. See you in the next episode!